Welcome to English Stories by Manvi Sharma, where simple stories create powerful lessons. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I am going to share a very emotional and meaningful story with you. Today's story is called The Boy Who Lied to Impress Friends. It's a story that I think really gets to the heart of something we all deal with, why being honest is so important, and, how trust works. It's a really powerful lesson. So, let's dive in.
So, our story starts with a boy and, more importantly, with a wish that he kept hidden deep inside. Let's get to know him.
There was this young boy. His name was Rohan, and on the surface, he was a great kid, really kind, always friendly to everyone, just a genuinely nice person to be around.
But deep down, where nobody could really see, he was wrestling with something. He had this one problem that he just couldn't shake. See, he just really wanted everyone to like him. And at school, his friends were always talking about all the expensive stuff they had. The newest gadgets, big family trips. And Rohan, well, he started to feel small. He felt left out, like he wasn't interesting enough just as he was.
So instead of just being himself, he decided to go down a different path. A path of pretending. And, well, this path was about to get a little tricky.
So one day, he just said it. He told his friends, "Oh yeah, my father just bought a brand new luxury car." And as soon as the words left his mouth, he felt a little jolt of excitement.
And then, another day, he upped the ante. We're actually going on a big international trip pretty soon. The stories just kept getting bigger and bigger.
And you know what? It worked. His friends were totally impressed. They were all like, wow, really? And Rohan, he loved that feeling. He loved being the one with the cool stories. So he just kept going.
But lies are kind of like a stack of blocks. You can only stack them so high before they all come tumbling down. And for Rohan, it all came down to one single promise he couldn't keep.
He got so carried away one afternoon, he just blurted it out. "Hey everyone, tomorrow I'll bring my new expensive phone to school so you can all see it." He said it with so much confidence, but it was a promise built on air.
Because of course there was no new phone, and that night, he felt sick with nerves. He was just tossing and turning in his bed, his mind racing. What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to say?
The next day at school was awful. The second he walked in, his friends ran up to him, all excited. "Rohan, hey, where's the phone? Let's see it." And his heart just dropped into his stomach.
He completely panicked. He mumbled something like, I forgot it at home. But you could see it on their faces. They weren't buying it this time. Their smiles faded, and one of his friends just looked him right in the eye and asked, "Are you lying to us?"
And in that moment, in that silence, everything came crashing down. The pretending was over. All that was left was the truth. And it felt so heavy.
The craziest part was, when he looked at his friends, he didn't see anger in their eyes. He saw something that felt 1,000,000 times worse. It was disappointment. He could see that he'd lost their trust, and that feeling, it hurt more than anything.
The next day, he knew what he had to do. He found his friends, and with his voice shaking just a little bit, he looked at them and said, "I'm sorry, I lied." It was the hardest thing he'd ever had to do.
See, he thought he needed all these big, fancy stories for them to like him. But what they really wanted was so much simpler. One of them just said, "Rohan, we don't care about that stuff. We just want you to be honest with us."
And that right there was the real gift. Not the fancy things he'd lied about, but the chance to start again. This time by being completely and totally honest.
And so, he made a change. It wasn't complicated. He just stopped making things up. He started talking about his real life. He was just Rohan. He was finally being true to himself. It took a little time, for sure. But slowly, little by little, his friends started to see the real him, and they started to trust him again. And this time, the friendship felt so much stronger, because it was real.
And that's really the heart of this whole story, isn't it? Truth builds trust. And trust is what builds real, lasting relationship.